All right, my little math friends, here we are. We're moving further into Chapter 6. Now we're on 6.2c, and what we are going to be doing is writing and solving algebra equations involving addition and subtraction, okay? So, the new thing that we're going to be doing is this right here, okay? This part's going to be new, is writing an algebra equation, okay? The solving algebra equations, that's something we've already done. Okay, so that's something old. That's an old skill. The new skill we're going to be doing is learning how to write an algebra equation. Okay, before we get into that, I just want to let you guys know that I really appreciate working with each one of you guys this year, and I really enjoy making these videos for you guys, so I hope it works out. I hope you guys are learning some math this way. Please, at any time in class, if you're stuck and none of this makes sense, let me know. I want to help you guys out so that you guys can understand some math this year and gain some new skills. Okay, that's my whole goal. So let's get into this lesson here. I'm going to give you guys a helpful extra step today. Okay, something that helps me and other people to write an algebra equation. Okay, because this can be kind of tricky, writing an algebra equation. And I'm going to show you how to do it. And I'm just going to show you in this video, not on the other ones in Chapter 6, because it takes a little extra time. And I want to be aware of your guys' time on how long it takes to watch a video, and I don't want to waste your guys' time just making these longer than I have to. So this one, I'm going to explain this extra step. The future ones, I won't, but you can always use this extra step. Okay, here's the helpful extra step, all right? Sometimes it helps to solve the word problem before writing an algebra problem. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. When we look at these word problems here, we're going to solve them first. We're going to use this extra step. We're going to solve them, and then we're going to write our algebra problem. Okay, so I'll show you how this works. Here's our first example. A man is hiking on a mountain. He started at an elevation of 325 feet. Okay, so that's his starting point. After hiking 1 hour, he is now at an elevation of 865 feet. Okay, we are going to write an algebra equation and find the amount of elevation he hiked. Okay, that's our goal. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to identify the variable. All right, that's the thing we don't know. Okay, here's the thing we don't know, the amount of elevation he hiked. Okay, that's the number that this problem does not give us. So our variable, I'm just going to use x because that's a great variable to use. Okay, x is going to be the unknown elevation. Okay, unknown elevation. All right, that's the thing we don't know. Okay. Oh, hold on, I'm recording here. Oops. Okay, we're back. Sorry, I had someone come in and ask a question, but we are back on track here. All right, so we did A. We identified our variable. X is going to be the unknown elevation. That's the thing we're trying to find out. Now we're going to move on to B. We're going to solve the math problem. Okay, so over here we have our steps we've been doing this year for solving math problems. We already did number 1. Okay, number 1 is read through the problem. We did that. Number 2, we're going to underline the question. Okay, we did that also. We're trying to find the amount of elevation he hiked. We are also going to write an algebra equation. Okay, so that's the 2 things that we are up to. Number 3, we're going to identify our math facts. All right, so here is our first math fact. He started at an elevation of 325 feet. After hiking 1 hour, he is now at an elevation of 865 feet. Okay, those are the 2 numbers we're going to use. Number 4, we're going to build the math problem. Okay, just like we've been doing in all the other word problems from this year. Okay, to solve this math problem, to build our math problem, to find out how much elevation he hiked, we got to take 865 and take away 325 to find out how far he went, because he started here, he ended here, so that's what we have to do. We need to take 865 minus 325. Okay, and that answer will tell us the elevation that he hiked, and that comes out to 540 feet. Okay, that's how much he hiked. We just did step number 5, we solved. Okay, and step number 6 is to check your answer, make sure it makes sense to you. Okay, it looks like it does. We had to subtract those two. That's the only way to get our answer. We got our answer here, so we are good to go. Okay, now we're going to get to the new skill, the new part here, which is C. Okay, this is the new thing we're learning. We're going to write an algebra problem. Okay, so we've already found the unknown elevation. We already know it's 540 feet. Okay, we're going to pretend like we don't know this answer. Okay, because we're going to use X to make our algebraic problem. And here's how you make an algebra problem. You have the equal sign in the middle, and on one side of the equal sign is going to be some math and your variable, X. Okay, and then on the other side, you're just going to have one number by itself. It's going to be the total, and it's going to be either the start or the finish number, whatever the math problem gives you. Okay, now this math problem gave us both. We have the start and we have the finish. Okay, sometimes they'll give you both, sometimes they'll just give you one. In this case, let's use the finish number. I like that one, it's a little bit easier. Okay, so we're going to put our equal sign right here. So on this side is going to be our total, and it's going to be our finish number. So I'm going to put 865 over here on this side. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to have to build the math that's going to show how to get 865. Okay, using these numbers we have up here. Okay, to get 865, I need to take my starting number, 325. Okay, so I'm going to take 325, and I have to add this number right here, the elevation he hiked, but we're going to pretend like we don't know that because we're going to use algebra. We're going to use our variable. So we're going to have to put the X there, pretend like we don't know what this answer is to get 865. Okay, and that's going to make sense because if we take 325 plus the elevation he hiked, which is 540, we already know that, that is going to add up to 865. Okay, and that is how we write our algebra problem right there. We got the math in the variable over here, and then we got our total over here on this side. Okay, that's something kind of new. It takes a little while to learn how to do that. Let's take a look at a couple more examples, and we'll see how these work out so we can get familiar with how to do this new skill. Okay, here is our next problem. An airplane descends 7,920 feet, and it is now at an elevation of 27,720 feet. Write an algebra equation and find the elevation of the plane before the descent. Okay, so before the plane went down, that's what we're trying to find, is what elevation the plane was at before it went down. Okay, so part A, the thing we're going to do first is identify our variable. We'll just call it X. Okay, and X is going to be the elevation the plane started. Because see, it's now here. This is its finish. Okay, this is where it's at now. We're trying to find the starting elevation. That's the thing we don't know. Okay, starting elevation. That's what we are trying to solve for. Okay, that's the question we're trying to answer. Now we're going to go on to part B. We're going to solve the math problem. Okay, we're going to use that helpful hint of solving this math problem. Okay, step number 1 says read through the math problem. We did that. Step number 2, underline question. Okay, so here's what we need to do. We need to write an algebra equation. Okay, we're going to take care of that. And then we're going to find the elevation of the plane before the descent. Okay, number 3, identify your math facts. Okay, here's our math facts. The plane descended 7,920 feet. Okay, it is now at an elevation of 27,720 feet. All right, there's our two math facts we're going to use for part B. Now we're going to build the math problem. Okay, so the math problem to solve this, so the plane is here right now, that's where it's at, but it was at a higher elevation because it went down by this amount. So to find out where it was before, we need to add these two numbers to find out where the plane was. So we need to take 27,720, and if we add 7,920, okay, before the plane actually went down, that's going to tell us where the plane was at before it started descending. So that plane was at, if you add those two numbers, it is at 35,640. Okay, so that's where it was before, 35,640 feet. Okay, that is the starting elevation. Okay, so we're going to pretend like we don't know that. We don't know this number to do this part right here. Okay, so let me fill in these other ones. We solve the math problem. Okay, check your answer. Make sure it makes sense. It does, because this is where it was. We have to add back the amount it went down, and that'll tell us where it started at. All right? So now we're on part C. We're going to write our algebra problem. So let's put our equal sign right here. Get your total down first. Okay, so we didn't, in this story problem, they did not give us the start, but they did give us the finish, which is this right up here. Okay, so that is going to be our number. That's going to be the total. Okay, 27,720. This is the number we're trying to get to. Now we're going to show the math over here that shows how to get this answer. Okay, so to get this answer, we need to take the starting elevation, which is this amount, and subtract 7,920 from that in order to get this number. Okay, so we're going to pretend like we're going to use x because we're building an algebra problem. So we're not going to use this number, pretend like we don't know what this is. So we're going to take x, which is 35,640, and we're going to subtract 7,920. And if we actually do that, if we subtracted these two numbers, that would get us 27,720 over here on this side. Okay, and that is our algebra problem that shows this problem right here. Okay, we'll take a look at one more example on how to write an algebra problem, and then I have a try this problem for you guys to do after that. All right, the last one we have, Amy had some money in her checking account. She writes a check for $45.75. She now has a remaining balance of $95.60. Write an algebra equation and find the balance of her checking account before she wrote the check. Okay, so we're going to start with A. We're going to identify the variable, okay, the thing that we don't know. Okay, and the thing that we don't know is this right here, the balance of her checking account before she wrote the check. Okay, so we know how much she has now. All right, we just want to find out how much she had before that. Okay, so X is going to be her starting balance. Okay, how much she started with. Okay, the money she had before she started. Okay, now we're going to go to B. We're going to solve the math problem. All right, so we're going to use these steps over here. We already did number one. Okay, we're going to read through the math problem. Step number 2 says to underline the question. Okay, so here is our things that we're going to do. We're going to find the balance of her checking account before she wrote the check, and we're going to write an algebra equation for that. Okay, step number 3, we're going to identify the math facts. Okay, here's the two facts that we have. She wrote a check for $45.75. Okay, so if she writes a check, that means money is going to leave her account. She now has, after the check, she has $95.60. Okay, so there's our math facts. We're going to build the math problem to get our answer, to find out how much she started with. Okay, we have to take the balance she has now, and we have to add this amount of the check to find out how much she had before this money came out of her account. Okay, so we need to take $95.60. We're going to add $45.75. And if we do that, that is going to get us $141.35. Okay, this is how much money she started with. Okay, that's our starting balance. We just answered this question, and we're going to pretend like we don't know this to write our algebra problem. Okay, so this is what she started with. Here is her balance she has right now. Right, we just did step number 5, we solved. Step number 6, check the answer. Okay, the answer seems to make sense. This is her ending balance. We're adding the amount of the check to get how much she started with in her account. Okay, so for part C, we're going to write our algebra problem. Start with the equal sign. We need our number over here, our total. In this story problem, we weren't given the start, but we were given the finish, okay? Because this is how much she has now. So that is our finish amount. So that's the number that's going to go here for our total, $95.60, okay? So to get this total, the math over here on this side, we have to take what she had before and subtract the amount of her check, and that will get us $95.60. $141.35 minus $45.75 will get us this right here. Okay, so that's what we're going to build with our algebra problem, but we're going to pretend like we don't know this number, and we're going to use x instead. So we're going to say x, which is $141.35, and if you take away $45.75, that'll give you $95.60. Okay? Now, if you were going to take and solve this algebra problem, just like the ones we have been solving, just to show you how this would work out, that it would get this right here. If you were going to solve this algebra problem, we would have to do the opposite of minus $45.75. Okay, so we'd have to go plus $45.75. Do this, cancel that out. Do the same thing over here to this side, plus $45.75. And then we would draw our line across to clean up everything. We would bring down our equal sign, bring down the x. Okay, I'm just showing you the extra step on how this works out to be an algebra problem. And if we added these two numbers together, just like we did up here, that would get us $141.35. Okay, so that just shows you how building this algebra problem, and if you actually went through and solved it, you would get the number that we already answered, which was this number up here. Okay, we just did that first to try and make things a little bit easier. Okay, so there's your new skill on how to write an algebra problem. Hopefully this part up here helps you a little bit to do that. If not, then that's fine. That's just an extra step that some people use to help learn how to write an algebra problem. All right, I got one try this problem for you guys, and then I'll see you guys next time in class. We'll work some more out of these out together. If you get stuck on this, come talk to me in class, and we'll help you get this figured out. Okay, guys, thank you for watching.